their lineup as we are going to be getting into the game. It does look like we are just going to be playing.
10 seconds.
It looks like we are the blue side are going to be okay to just play with the bot, I guess.
Okay.
They
yep.
were
so
giving,
it looks like they gave him a
enough time
minute
to
and they're
get
just
back.
starting. All right. Well, that's kind of
All right,
them.
so fair enough. It's a bit unfortunate, but what can we say? Australian internet at its finest. As
The
we
show
are going
must go
into the
on.
level 1. Absolutely. The level 1, not too much strange going on, just a whole bunch of grouping in the mid lane as we are trying to get some wave clear going on, but Tizian on the Dahaka takes a lot of damage, but the grab does get landed onto the EGC, does manage to get himself away thanks to the help from Morton, but that is going to be the Dahaka going up to the top side and not too much happening in the middle, just a bit of trading, and they are going to go back to lanes as the left virus is doing a lot of damage to this Jane on the bottom side, almost taking him out with that final lightning, but will manage to force Skittles back.
I mean, we can see already Left Virus, he's taken up Rolling Thunder, and he's going to make sure he harasses Skittles as much as he can with that, and make sure that he can just sort of stay in lane. As we said, Thrall's got the resilience to do so, and he's got the, because of his Frostwolf resilience, making sure that he can heal up and just stay in that lane almost indefinitely.
Yeah, and in the middle lane, the ETC is going very low, does get stunned up, and the final blast from Spazzo on this Xayah will manage to finish them off. There is a lot of damage being returned, but in the end, the Xayah and the Kerrigan are going to be able to do enough to get that kill, and that's going to be the first kill going over to Plasma Shock. And although the experience lead is still in favor of the blue side.
It's early games, early times. Dying at this point isn't too awful as long as you can kind of get back into your lane and re-soak. But I mean, we've got here already Julian finding Morton right there.
Morton's getting caught out. He does manage to lock down the Kerrigan, who does manage to do a decent amount of damage, but takes quite a bit, and that's going to be nothing. But that was very, very precarious position for Morton to be in. As that Malfurion pretty much getting caught out in the middle of nowhere, but manages to survive it.
That's what Malfurion does best indeed. And now we've got the altars activating soon. So it's going to be interesting. Always the first one. 3 altars go up and you need to sort of lock down your own and then sort of fight for that bottom one there. But we can already see members of the red team right
getting
there.
Caught out. He goes in onto that bush blind. He does manage to get out a little bit, but I think he will be taken down. The polymorph from the Brightwing and the last auto attack will get the kill. The Thrall walking into that bush blind, maybe a bit overeager, as Dahaka goes very aggressive onto that altar to try and stop them, but manages to die instead. But Julian is going in with the Kerrigan, and here comes the rest of the red team, and they do put a decent amount of damage onto the Valor, who is gone very low, but EGC is helping out with the peeling, but the Valor does manage to vault away, and the Kerrigan is going very low. The EGC is trying to get onto it, but there's just too much damage coming in from the red side as the EGC does fall in the end. The healing is doing a lot of work thanks to the Malfurion, as this temple, or this altar, is still up for contention, as the energy balls from Spazzo on this Xayah are going to keep it alive while the rest of the team does go back and try and get some XP elsewhere. As here comes the rest of the blue team. They are going to try and lock down this Xayah. They do get the lockdown from the Malfurion, and that will be the kill, and they do end up getting that shrine.
I think that was just a little bit overzealous right there by the red team trying to get all 3 shrines, especially on the blue team side. I mean, the advantage of why you want those shrines closer to your side is because you can respawn faster and it's closer to you. But yeah, definitely. I mean, what a fight right there. And I mean, they almost managed to secure it, but not in time. I mean, ETC, unfortunately, the bot not being able to quite get out of there, as well as just Morton doing his best to try and keep all team members healed up. It's just going to show, I guess, going forward, just how they dictate their fights. And as you said, it was unfortunate that Left Virus kind of got picked off right there in the bottom bush. He almost got away. He did some amazing jukes, but it wasn't enough. Too many members of the red team collapsed.
Oh, and there is a little bit of a collapse going on the top side. The Dahaka taking a decent amount of damage, but with the rest of Plasma Shock turning up, they are going to allow him to get away. As on the bottom side, Kerrigan is just waiting for this Thrall to go in on this camp. They do manage to force him away, as they are going to lock him down. The polymorph is there. The damage is going through, but Left Virus is going to manage to stun up the Kerrigan, and it looks like he's going to be able to get away. Just one more hit would have done it, but they are going to get away, as the ETC and Morton have turned up. They aren't in the best positions, but they look like they are taking out the Jaina, who does go down. The Malfurion goes down as well, but the Thrall a little bit too low to come in so soon and will fall, and that will be the camp going over to the red side.
ETC bot, almost MVP, almost stayed there long enough, but couldn't quite do much. It's unfortunate that they have to play with the player down, and hopefully we'll get that player reconnecting soon, as the Bro Squad shows that they are quite broful and just sort of trying to stick together as best they can right here. With the ETC
going a little
in
bit too far. It's just a bot. It's just not fair. The ETC does fall just as this shrine is spawning. The rest of the blue team is around to try and poke away, but they're just not in position, and the just the blocking from the red team does manage to get them that altar, as the Kerrigan is going in onto the Malfurion. Does get locked down, but they do manage to get a lot of the damage down onto the Malfurion, but he will keep on running away. The Kerrigan is going to keep on chasing. The Dahaka is going to keep on chasing, but they will manage to... well, the Malfurion does manage to get himself away. That was a bit of a risky position to be in, as looks like they're just going to keep on pushing in this mid lane.
There's a lot of aggression coming out, surprisingly, from Bro Squad. Whereas Plasma Shock as well, they're just trying to dominate the area. They're pushing hard to get their heroic. They're getting quite close. And if they get it before the altars sort of spawn, we can see Bro Squad in a little bit of trouble there. But Julian getting a lot of damage put out on him by Matamata.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage going down onto both sides, but the Brightwing is going to get locked down, and that should be the kill going over to the Valor. That will be at least one kill. The ADC wants blood, but the Kerrigan is going to be a little bit too far away, so that's going to be a nice kill going over to the blue side, and just to try and mitigate a lot of that experience lead that the Plasma Shock does already have. They should be able to get to 10 by the time the next Shrine phase comes up, as Lafaris is going to just zap Skittles as he tries to get away.
We're seeing with Lafaris right there, he's also just taking everything he can to increase that chain lightning and just making sure that he's got a good poke tool right there. And with Li Ming as well, just going almost the magic missile build, I think. But it just needs to be careful now. We've got lots of team members of Plasma just sort of sitting out, camping out, and just taking the blue team's objectives every chance that they get.
Yeah, they're positioning very aggressively as ETC is just walking through all of them, gets polymorph, takes a lot of damage. He's not able to get too much done. He does manage to survive as the expulsion, the grenade is going to keep Morton in position as they do manage to take him out. The Strafe was not able to get too much done as the members of the Bro Squad are going very low. That's 2 down already, and they are going to be forced back, and this should be the very next shrine going over to Plasma Shock, and that's a very nice fight for them as well.
Very nicely unfolded, very nicely executed. But right now, if you were Bro Squad, what would you be doing now to kind of get back in it? What would you be doing to start to win these team fights? I mean, apart from just having a bot.
Well, that's pretty much a lot of what's going on here. I mean, the engage potential from the ETC is just not really being set up enough, as the Dahaka takes a lot of damage. The Li Ming using the Disintegrate to do a lot of damage, and they will manage to lock him down. Does manage to grab the Thrall, but it's just going to be one more zap. There it is. That's the blast, and that will be the kill going up to Lafaris. But it's a nice little advantage to get here and there, but they just need to do more of that. They're getting a good, they're getting enough experience back. But they just need to get back into this game a little bit more.
There's a lot of angry chat going on because the Dahaka also did drop, and that was a bot there and then. But everyone's claiming it's still fair. So this is anyone's game. We're having sort of bots on bots and battle royale. Everything's going on right now, and they're collapsing on him.
Are going to go aggressive. Oh, the Earthquake comes out and the Cone of Cold. They do a lot of damage. The Thrall goes down immediately as they are trying to take out the Dahaka. The Jaina goes very low as well. The Earthquake is just rumbling through, doesn't get too much done. Oh, the Jaina almost walked straight into that Arcane Orb, but that is just going to be one kill going over to... that's actually 2 kills going over to System Shock. Static Shock, as they did manage to get another kill. I think that was elsewhere.
Morton really did do a great Twilight Dream down there, but they didn't have enough damage to sort of collapse, because when they did, they were too close to the 2 fortifications out there, and then they were just taking too much damage. So, I mean, right now, they just need to sort of get their head together, regroup, and just sort of take back their objectives, because now they've lost a top fort as well. So they're going to be wanting that before the next altar spawn, but then they also want to be defending it. And this is where you kind of get into a bit of a hard sort of situation.
Or all 5 members from Static Shock are moving into a very aggressive position, but it looks like they're just going to be trading the altars, which is not a bad idea considering they're up one of the keeps, so they do a little bit more damage. So, very nicely played from Static Shock, just playing, understanding when to play aggressive and when to just take what advantages they have.
Exactly right. When to sort of fight, when to back off. But now they're pushing together, all 5 down their middle lane. They're hoping to get some objectives down while they're trying to reclaim that top fortification. And now the bottom fortification as well is what they're going to try reclaim. So they need to watch out now, because this is where you don't want to be. And oh my goodness, Kerrigan
they're
right
going
there.
in. The Valor gets absolutely demolished, as that's going to be the first kill as the fort does go down. Lapvirus is in a very awkward position, trying to take a path through the trees. Is not going to be in a good spot. Does get taken down. That's going to be another 2 kills going over to Static Shock, and they are just going to keep on taking down these forts. As if they manage to hold all 6 of the forts, a shot will be fired periodically onto the core, and that'd be another way for them to end up winning this game.
It was a beautiful combo right there by Kerrigan. Julian playing Kerrigan, just so well executed, and Valor was taken completely aback, just completely taken out of the equation. And that's another fort down. Now they have to really watch out. Every time, every moment that these 3 forts
Morden
are together,
gets locked down.
disappoint.
Polymorph is going to be used onto him. He takes a lot of damage. Twilight Dream does get used. He's trying to heal himself, but Kerrigan is just going to keep on chasing. The Ice Block is used. The EDC has fallen already. Morden is going to fall in the end, and that is just going to be yet another fight going in favor of Static Shock. The Thrall and the Valor were managing to take down that middle, or retake that middle fort, but here is where it's going to be a very big problem. 3 altars spawning, and with the amount of shots that can be fired, that is going to be really hard for the blue team to actually deal with it, as the red team, meanwhile, we're just taking the boss, and that's another 4 free shots going over to the Bro Squad core.
I mean, they stemmed the bleeding of their core, except now the only problem is 3 altars have spawned, so they have to nab at least
This could just be
one of
game
these.
right now. This
As
could just be
long-
game right now. There's
If they
the 2
take the
altars
altars-
for 5 shots each. And
This
that
could be
looks
it.
like it is just going to be game.
It's just going to be game. They
That
just
is-
couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, it looked like they're all on the bottom side of the map, and that is just going to be, and that just gave all the room over to Static Shock, and that's just going to be the game. Well done to